back. Gabby, something interesting happened at the end of the last segment.
You want to go ahead and talk about it?
I mean, do you want to talk about it?
I mean, I love the movie Save the Last Dance personally, and I don't know if everyone wants to watch that, but I could do a little, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Julia Stiles, that's my girl. That was like my 90s-ish right there, but I don't know if that's what the people want to hear about.
I cannot believe I called the ESPN Netflix Bulls documentary The Last Dance. I said Save the Last Dance. In full disclosure, I mean, I've seen Save the Last Dance probably 40 times. So I'll keep it a buck. Ain't no lies on this on this show we're doing here. All good. Listen, when she hit that heel toe in the club, I was like,
that was everything. You're like,
okay.
That changed my life, that movie. Absolutely.
Wait, let me tell you about the one part that I enjoyed. So Bianca
Tell me
Lawson's
all about the parts.
I mean, I love all the parts, but starring Kerry Washington. You know, shout out to Kerry Washington. Julia Stiles, of course, Sean Patrick Thomas, but Bianca Lawson, who was Nikki. Remember when Nikki, when Sarah and what's the guys? What's Sean Patrick Thomas's character's name? Derek. When they're dancing,
taking me back. I'm like,
they're on the floor dancing, and Nikki's watching, and she turns around, watch me squash this shit, and I'm like.
Yeah, it was Savage. That was like the original Savage before Savage was a thing.
Right? Before Savage was a thing, I was like, uh-oh. Anyway,
I know.
We'll get into
we'll talk more about that another time. We can sidebar us on that one.
Dear
Feel free
God.
to tweet, call. Yeah.
But Jordans and the Bulls and the Last Dance. So full disclosure, that last title run, their last three-peat, I was like a sophomore in college, I want to say. So, I mean, I remember the entire Bulls run, like their first three-peat, the second three-peat, early Jordan. I mean, I grew up watching ball in the 80s. Like the Lakers Celtics were my first memory of the NBA. But when Michael Jordan and the Bulls became a thing, they were a thing, right?
Absolutely. They were like the thing.
Yes, it was a traveling rock band. It was the Beatles. It was just, you know, the Jackson 5, celebrities are here, right? And so much of Jordan was the fashion, the clothes, whatever, and that iconic Jumpman logo. And, you know, I'm so curious because so many of the young kids, I feel like, don't know about Jordan as a player because, you know, he last played just a long time ago now. But they know the shoes, right? And I'm just so curious, like, is he now more shoe guy for so many people than he is, this is like probably the greatest basketball player of all time?
I don't know. I mean, you can't have a conversation about the GOAT and not talk about Jordan, even if you don't know his game, right? I just think that people don't give him enough credit, that younger generation. They're always like, oh, well, he had Scottie Pippen. He couldn't do it on his own. But if you look at every other GOAT, they had someone else. They had another big man. They had someone else.
Got to.
Kobe had Shaq. LeBron tried to do it on his own, and I don't know if you can tell. I'm not necessarily the biggest LeBron fan. Don't at me about that. I will talk about it for hours. That's up there with like politics and religion for me and LeBron. Of things that you don't want to get started with me because you'll be there a long time. You need to sit down, have a cocktail, make it a real nice evening. But I just think that LeBron thinks he can do it on his own. And that's the difference for me between Jordan and LeBron, right? LeBron's an amazing player. You cannot hate on his talent. You cannot hate on his knowledge of the game. But he thinks he can do it on his own. When other players are hurt, he's like, I got this. We're still going to beat the Warriors or whoever it is. I can still do this on my own, right? And Jordan's like, nah, I need my squad. Like, I'm the greatest player of all time, but I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to show you. And that's the difference.
You're a squad goals kind of gal.
Oh, that's right. You know.
No, I think the Jordan sneaker, and again, just that whole brand, and again, spending time with Jordan Brand at All-Star, it was just so interesting to just see their thought process and their mind behind everything. Look, it's not just the sneakers now, right? I mean, they're into fashion and doing things in Paris.
Lifestyle, they are of course.
It's all lifestyle now, and a lot of this stuff is actually. I'm like, yo, I would rock a lot of this stuff. It's like, okay, like I'm with it, you know. And I think that is just, there's something about that, right? Where again, sport, fashion, everything is just so connected, right? It's all part of the culture, right? But I love it, and I think being, you know, adjacent to it because I cover the NBA or directly in it, it's cool. It's really cool. And I think that, just being able to see the different, where it's evolved from when it started with that first shoe, so all the way to where it is now, to now its own wholly owned subsidiary. There it is, right. Jordan 1s. I'm actually going to break out my pair of Jordan 1s, which, by the way,
let's see it.
I need more pairs of Jordan 1s, by the way.
I mean, I think the world needs more pair of Jordan 1s. Like, these ones are one of my favorites because we're talking about the journey of Jordan, so I'm going to take them out. Oh, those are fresh. Okay.
So,
the summer ditty, I like those.
The little multicolored, right? You got the purple, the yellow swoosh,
and the nice
right?
low. Okay.
Yeah, as I said,
I don't normally go low with ones, but those are fresh. I like those. Those are really nice.
I love the lows. Of course, the logo on the tongue, little Air Jordan in the back. And the other ones have, because they do multicolors on both of these. So, and you got the orange on this one and the navy blue, right? Like these, I enjoy these, but again, I need a couple more pair. I need the original ones. Got to get those high tops. Yep. Or
like these are another favorite of mine. Clearly, I have worn them so much. They're still dead stock, still in the box because I love them so much. They're just beautiful shoes. I think like the one, not only was it iconic in terms of basketball, it being something that was controversial that Michael wore. It was the first thing that people even noticed on the court. Exactly. It's a classic style that has really shown the test of time. And I think that's why, like, even now, ones are impossible to get your hands on. You gotta be really lucky or hit that raffle right at the right time. Yeah. Or the sneakers app, to even get a pair of them in just a regular colorway, because they really have stood the test of time. And I think they still look really clean and fresh.
You know what it is? I think it's the simplicity of the design. I think for me, when it comes to sneakers, what I'm deciding now in my early sneakerheadness, we're still workshopping that.
I'll help you with that.
I'm a minimalist, right? Like, I don't necessarily want a whole lot of things going on. Yep. I like solids and clean lines. That's not to say that I won't do something a little bit different. Like, I love the retro 3s with the elephant print on that, but like it's got clean lines because that ends and then the white solid of the shoe takes over. Like, when it's too crazy and too many things happening, I'm like, I get nervous. I'm like, I don't know what that is. Like, I like the cleanness of the one.
I think some of those earlier Jordans, and that's to your point, I think that's why the 11s are so popular. Also, aside from Space Jam, I mean, they just go with everything. Those are what I call my business meeting sneakers. My Space Jam is patent leather because I'm a fancy lady. You know what I mean? Got to show that I'm all business, but a little bit fun too. I can still hoop if I have to. But I think they're classic enough, and they go with everything. Like, you could literally wear it with everything. And with ones, like, you pick an accent color, it doesn't have to match what you're wearing. Whether it's like the crimson ones that came out in that peach color with the black, those are great. And they came with a really cool teal green lace. So, there's different ways that you can shake it up and make it a little bit more fun and exciting. It's like you can style what you already have in your closet. And those classic shoes, to your point, go with literally everything. I mean, I also wear a lot of black, so that helps. But
for me, I think my favorite of like the newer versions of ones, it's not surprise, it's not whatever. It is the off-whites in the powder blues. Those are so fresh.
I think my heart rate just started like going real fast when you said that. I was like, ooh. I like when you talk dirty, Jay.
See, boys, the key to Gabby's heart. You see what I just did there? I'm putting game out here.
It doesn't take much. I think I'm blushing a little bit right now. He was like, those off-white ones, and I'm like, ooh. Like a breeze came out of nowhere. I'm sitting in my closet right now, and all of a sudden it's like the wind is in my hair. I don't know what happened.
In those powder blues, man, they just I just like that. They're so clean, so fresh. Love the zip ties on them. So again, shouts to Jordan Brand. Y'all want to hook me up with some more stuff? Happy to promote you.
Those. I don't know.
Put them out there.
You might have to name a child after Jordan or something like that for those, but
I mean,
worth
for those,
it.
might have to. Worth it.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about watching more of the documentary, of course. Seeing more of, like, it was so funny, like, he was so casually just warming up when he got to the practice arena in the 11s, and people are like, I haven't even taken mine out of the box yet. How are you playing basketball in those things?
I still don't understand how he played so well. Like the movement in those shoes, it's wild to me.
Because you're like, no, you're gonna crease the leather. Don't.
Oh yeah, no. He's like, I got like 50 more waiting for me. Don't ever worry about it.
All good. No, listen, this whole movement and the Jordan sort of collection, right, from 1 through 34, which by the way, the 34 is the newest pair. I love the white, red, black, the red orbit with the black. Those are really nice.
Yeah, those are pretty fresh.
Again, All-Star Weekend. Those are very nice. They kind of harken back to the old school.
I was going to say there's a nod to the classic with the 34s. Absolutely. Like they're kind of bringing it back home. Like some of the others with all the details get a little bit lost for me in the middle, but yeah.
Gabby, I think we've decided something. We're classics when it comes to, we like the classics because I don't know, there's something about them.
Man, absolutely. Yeah, see what I did there? Got dad jokes for days. Yeah, I'll be here all night.
Did there. Listen, guys, we want to thank you so much for tuning into our first episode. Here's the cool thing. We're going to be putting out more of this regularly. We want to hear from you. What do you like? What do you want to hear about? What don't you want to hear about? I know you want to hear more about Save the Last Dance and that journey. We can talk about that too.
Yeah, we might need to see some moves, Jay. I don't know about that. I want to see you.
I mean, all right, we might have to do a little something. But Gabby, tell the folks where they can get at you to let you know what they want to see more of.
Absolutely. I just want to also say thank you for this. It's been really fun just kind of vibing with you and talking about things that we care about. And this is how we met, like taking it back to the airport days. You know what I'm saying?
The airport days.
That's not a thing people say, but you know what? Let's get it trending. # airport days, you know?
That's right. Airport days for us.
Absolutely. It'll be happening again once this is all done. But you can find me at Gabby Rosenthal, Gabby Rosenthal. I know, not to the Jewish, but you know where to find me. Just emphasis on the ish. But yeah, feel free to send me questions, comments. Love feedback.
Love it.
And
guys,
it's been a lot of fun.
Thanks. Find me at JS Hector on Twitter, on Instagram. As this goes, maybe we'll create a feed for this. But we want to first hear from you guys. What are you liking? What do you want to see more of? I know you probably want to see more shoes. That'll happen. I mean,
We'll get there. Don't worry. We got some topics on the list.
Gabby has way more shoes than me. But look, I will say, my collection is small, yet mighty. Okay?
I knew you were going to go with mighty. I don't know why mighty was the word that I knew was coming. I was like, he's going to go with mighty for that one. Yeah.
All right,
I think that's our next topic about your mighty collection.
She's a real problem. Peace.